Today we're going to explore why the topics of joy and farming were chosen as the title of this book. First of all, joy. Why joy? Well, we know that all of us want to be happy. It's a universal want or a need from people to be happy. And as often when you ask parents what they want for their children most, they'll all say something like, I just want them to be happy. That's the primal thing. And it's important to be happy. There are also lots of resources for the pursuit of happiness. But happiness to me is an emotion, and fleeting at that. We can be happy in any moment. And it's also relative, depending on our mind state. If we decide to be happy, we can be happy. And there's the famous happiness formula, where happiness is weighed against your expectations, where happiness is defined as the place when your life condition is equal to your expectations. When your life conditions are equal to it, you're happy. If your life conditions are worse than your expectations, you've got these high hopes, and reality doesn't come close to it, then you feel unhappy. You feel in a place of scarcity, in a place of need, in a place of want. On the other hand, when you've got so much more, or you receive so much more than your expectations, you may feel guilty that you've received all of this extra stuff that you have not worked for, or you have not expected. Or you may even feel superior to other people. Whereas when you don't have enough, you may feel inferior. Here you'll feel superior. And that's not a good place to be in either. So that happiness is related to your expectation and your life condition. But it's also a choice. It's been proven that some people can be happy despite anything. They decide to be happy. It's a decision. And what might me unhappy may make you happy under the same conditions. There's also the old saying about a glass half empty or a glass half full. How do you see the glass? And some people see the same glass with the same, maybe it's half full of water, saying that glass is half empty, and they're supposed to be the pessimists. And then there are people who see the glass half full, and they're supposed to be the optimists. But then, maybe, if you're creative, you don't see the water, you see how beautiful the glass is. And that's a different mindset. And there's the famous little story of the young one who was asked, do they see the glass half empty or half full? The little one said, but that glass is full. It's half full of water and half full of air, but it's full. So to me, happiness is this decision, this emotion, this fleeting thing that can leave in a moment. Whereas joy is deeper. Joy is something that is an outcome from making sure that you live your life in a place where you spread joy, and joy comes to you as an added benefit. It's like you're on this journey and this comes to you. So joy is to me a final outcome, a gift at the end, something that you just realize in a moment. Oh, I am so joyful. I've received all of these things. To me, the experience comes to me often when I'm singing in a big choir, and especially in worship choirs. I'm a Christian, so I enjoy the worship experience. And when we sing and we've practiced the same song over and over, and gradually you get better with it, and maybe you reach a state of happiness, and it's great. We're happy with it, we're singing it well, and that's good. And then we go on stage and we sing in front of the congregation, and maybe our orchestra is there, and it's a full symphony orchestra. But somewhere by the second or the third service, when you sing the same songs, there's this moment where you're just open and you feel connected to the heaven, and it's just this joyful place where music and your state of mind and people around you, we're all in this together, and you're just filled with joy. So to me, joy is much deeper. And joy is something that comes to you when all the other pieces are in place. You can't just decide to be joyful. Joy finds you. And in that moment of joy, you know you've got it. You've received joy. So it's something you receive from a bigger place. So you'll see that throughout this book, we'll be exploring ways of setting you up in a place where you'll be able to receive this joy in your life. I'm no joy maker, and that leads me to the second part. Why joy farmer or joy farming? To me, farming is when you're working with something precious, you're working with life, and you are there as the custodian of that life. You can help plant the seed, you can prepare the soil, you can water it, you can weed it if there are weeds, you can prune it when it's time. But in the end time, you're just farming this, if it's a plant or a tree, growing up, and that's your job as a farmer. You're not creating the life. You are simply there as a person, a conduit, a custodian that helps this plant grow. Or it might be an animal. You're there to help it through life. You're there to help it be healthy. If it's sick, you take care of it. And you're farming with the animal. You're there to take care of it and make sure that it gets the best of everything so that it can prosper, that it can have offspring, that it can grow, so that your farming operation with it can grow. So to me, that's the role that I can play with bringing joy to you. I cannot make the joy. I cannot create the joy. But I can help you find the tools, and I can help you nourish the seeds and the young animals and whatever it is, to grow and to be better and to go forward. And as that goes forward, you're farming and you become a farmer of joy. Also, when you become a joy farmer and you're farming for joy for yourself, you start spreading joy to others. And that is the gift of the soul, where we're all starting to become joy farmers together, where joy farming is the ultimate goal. And as we work together and as things are progressing forward, one day, out of the blue, we'll just realize that we are blessed. The joy has found us. We farmed it, and the fruit is there. It's pretty much like the harvest. One day, the fruit is there. I'm quite a keen gardener, and I love, but we live in an apartment at the moment, so I've got potted plants, and I love it, especially the orchids. They bloom one time of the year, and then they lose their blossoms, and they become pretty ugly throughout the year. It's just these leather-like leaves in a pot, and you have to just keep on taking care of them, give them nutrition, give them the occasional water, keep them going through the whole period, and you forget about them. But weekly, you have to take care of them, and one day, out of the blue, when you don't expect it, out will come a shoot. And within a couple of days, there'll be the first little blossom, and then the next shoot, and the next blossom. And that's the joy of it, because you've been farming it. And when you least expect it, it'll find you. The joy will find you. And that is the purpose of this book. May the joy find you when you implement what this book brings you.